Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Girivaradhari Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha, Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha, Radhe. Jaya Nitai Patita Pavan Gaura Hare, Jaya Nitai Patita Pavan Gaura Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Om Vishnupada, Paramahansa Parivraja Acharya Stotra Sadashmanu Savacanaram Bhakti Shila Prabhupada ki. Om Vishnupada, Paramahansa Parivraja Acharya Stotra Sadashmanu Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Raj Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavan ki. Most merciful Shri Shri Radha Gopijana Bhagavan ki. Tai Patita Pavan Varari ki. Shila Prabhupada ki. Tai Gaur Hari Premananda. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining today's Srimad Bhagavatam discussion under the instruction of His Grace Shyam Kishore Prabhuji. I'm attempting to speak something on Srimad Bhagavatam, though I don't have any qualification whatsoever. So please forgive me if I make any mistakes and correct me as your humble servant. And hopefully the message is pure. So we will, at least from the translation and purport, will get benefited, if not from the words coming out of my mouth. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, verse number 13. What was it yesterday? Yesterday was 4.7.8. Eight. Okay, you do 13, bro. Don't you do 13? We'll take a bit. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. No. What's No, you do 13, bro. That's fine. That's fine. Doesn't matter. No problem. 4.7.13. My apologies. I was listening to the lecture, but I didn't see yesterday's online, but I didn't see which verse he was following. But By mistake, I think he sent me 13. Daksha uvacha bhuyan anugraha aho भवता कृतो मे भूयाननुग्रह अहो भवता कृतो मे दंडस्त्वया मयि वृतो यदपि प्रलब्धः दंडस्त्वया मयि वृतो यदपि प्रलब्धः न ब्रह्म बंधुषु च वाम भगवन् अवज्ञा न ब्रह्म बंधुषु च वाम भगवन् अवज्ञा तुभ्यं हरेश्चकुटम् एव धृताव्रतेषु तुभ्यं हरेश्चकुटम् एव धृताव्रतेषु भूयान् अनुग्रह अहो भवता कृतो मे दंडस्त्वया मयि वृतो यदपि प्रलब्धः न ब्रह्म बंधुषु च वाम भगवन्न अवज्ञा तुभ्यं हरेश्च कुट एव धृताव्रतेषु दक्ष उवाच भूयान् अनुग्रह अहो भवता कृतो मे दंडस्त्वया अपि प्रलब्धा न ब्रह्मा बंधुषु च वाम भगवन् अवज्ञा तुभ्यं हरेश्च कुट एव धृतव्रतेषु दक्ष उवाच भूयाननुग्रहो भवता कृतो मे दंडस्त्वया मयि वृतो यदपि प्रलब्धः न ब्रह्म बंधुषु च वाम भगवन्नवज्ञा तुभ्यं हरेश्च कुटु एव धृतव्रतेषु अतजी दक्ष उवाच भूयान् अनुग्रह अहो भवता कृतो मे दंडस्त्वया मयि वृतो यदपि प्रलब्धः न ब्रह्म बंधुषु च वाम भगवन्नवज्ञा तुभ्यं हरेश्च कुट एव धृतव्रतेषु दक्ष उवाच भूयान् अनुग्रह भवता कृतो मे दंडस्त्वया मयि वृतो यदपि प्रलब्धः न ब्रह्म बंधुषु च वाम भगवन्नवज्ञा तुभ्यं हरेश्च कुट एव धृतव्रतेषु Daksha, King Daksha, Uvacha said, Bhuyan, very great, Anugraha, favor, Aho, alas, Bhavata, by you, Krita, done, may, upon me, Danda, punishment, Tvaya, by you, Mai, unto me, Britaha, done, Yat api, although, Pralabdaha, defeated, Na, neither, Brahma Bandhushu, unto an unqualified Brahmana, Cha, also, Vam, both of you, Bhagavan, my Lord, Avagnya, negligence, Tubhyam, of you, Hare Cha, of Lord Vishnu, Kuta, where, Eva, certainly, Dritavrateshu, one who is engaged in the performance of sacrifice. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhaya Charanaranda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. King Daksha said, My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you. But you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified Brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me, who am engaged in performing sacrifices? Purport. Although Daksha felt defeated, he knew that his punishment was simply the great mercy of Lord Shiva. He remembered that Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu are never neglectful of the Brahmanas, even though the Brahmanas are sometimes unqualified. According to Vedic civilization, a descendant of a Brahmana family should never be heavily punished. This was exemplified in Arjuna's treatment of Ashwadhama. Ashwadhama was the son of a great Brahmana, Dronacharya, and in spite of his having committed the great offense of killing all the sleeping sons of the Pandavas, for which he was condemned even by Lord Krishna, Arjuna excused him by not killing him because he happened to be the son of a Brahmana. The word Brahma Bandhusu used here is significant. Brahma Bandhu means a person who is born of a Brahmana father but whose activities are not up to the standard of the Brahmanas. Such a person is not Brahmana but a Brahma Bandhu. Daksha proved himself to be a Brahma Bandhu. He was born of a great Brahmana father, Lord Brahma, but his treatment of Lord Shiva was not exactly Brahmanical. Therefore, he admitted that he was not a perfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, however, are affectionate even to an imperfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva punished Daksha not as one does his enemy. Rather, he punished Daksha just to bring him to his senses so that he would know that he had done wrong. Daksha could understand this and he acknowledged the great mercy of Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva towards the fallen Brahmanas, including even himself. Although he was fallen, his vow was to execute the sacrifice, as is the duty of Brahmanas, and thus he began his prayers to Lord Shiva. Into the purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam bhangam langayate jagannath kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So this is a wonderful verse, translation and purport. So repeat the translation. King Daksha said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you. But you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me, who am engaged in performing sacrifices?" So here, Daksha has come to senses, and now he is begging forgiveness and lauding Lord Shiva for the punishment. How many of us like punishment? Do you like punishment? You don't like? Never? Sometimes we like, sometimes we don't. That's true. Because why do the parents punish us? Is it for a good or bad? Good. Then you should like it, no? That's for our good. But sometimes it happens, but out of envy, people punish us. Isn't it? We have so many examples. Here, what was the reason? Is it a reason why Lord Shiva is punishing Daksha here? The purport Srila Prabhupada said, in order to teach him a lesson. But sometimes people do out of envy. Some of the examples we can think from Bhagavatam, how Durvasa Muni punished Ambarish Maharaj. Did Ambarish Maharaj did any mistake? No. He was just following as per the advice of, the acharyas, as per the scriptures. He had to break the fast. What all he did was he took just a drop of water so that he doesn't. And then Durvasa Muni got very, very angry. What kind of a punishment? Is it proportionate to what he did? Why did he do that? You can just tell in few words he would have. But what did he do? He created he wanted to kill Ambarish Maharaj. But Ambarish Maharaj, was he deterred? No, he was very determined. He was a bhakta of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. So he took shelter. Whatever has to happen, will happen. But Lord will not tolerate any such thing done to his devotees. So he came to his rescue. And so many other examples out of Out of envy, people do. Duryodhana, out of envy. What did he do? He poisoned Bhima, isn't it? So this is out of envy. He wanted to punish. Any other examples?
Blaspheming Lord Krishna.
But he punished for his deliverance. It's not out of envy, no? Somebody who is punishing out of envy. Indra, we just celebrated Govardhan Puja. Yes? What did the Vrajvasis do? They just did performance of the puja to Govardhan on advice of the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna himself. But what Indra thought was, yes, what are these people doing? And what kind of a devastation he created. He wanted to kill all the Vrajvasis, the cows, the gopis, the gopas, who are very, very dear to Lord Krishna. How much of an offense it is. Yes? And Brahmaji, also we have seen. What did he do? He stole, he has hidden all the calves and gopas. He was testing Krishna. Anyway, question. So whose mistake is bigger mistake? Is Brahma's mistake or Indra's mistake? Indra wanted to kill all the Brajavasis, cows and gopis and gopas who are very, very dear to Lord Krishna. Brahmaji just hidden the gopas and cows for a few moments in his time. So whose was a bigger mistake? Yes. But our Acharya said otherwise. Brahma's mistake was bigger than Indra's mistake. Why is it so? Because with what Indra did, what happened? All the Vrajvasis, all the gopas, all the gopis, all the cows, all the calves, including the most beloved Srimati Radharani, were able to spend 7 nights and 7 days together with Krishna. Yes? What were gopis desiring? That they were desiring that the moon, Lord Moon, should be there 24 hours. Why? Because their pastime start when moon rises with Krishna, gopis. And what gopas were praying? Gopas were praying, let the sun be there 24 hours. Because they are going for cow herding with Krishna, and whole day they spend when sun sets, they have to come back. They don't get chance to play with Krishna the whole night. They were praying, let the sun be there 24 hours. Why sun is setting? So what happened in this Leela? 7 days and 7 nights they were with Krishna, directly seeing him. And Krishna and Radharani has so many restrictions. She can't meet Krishna when and where she wants. But here, 7 days and 7 nights. But what Brahma did? Brahmaji has taken away from Krishna the gopas and the calves. So that's why Acharya say it's a bigger mistake. If you see Srimad Bhagavatam, Indraji's prayers were just about 9 verses. But if you go to 10th canto, I think it is chapter 14. Brahma's whole chapter is there, Brahmaji's prayers. He was praying. But Indra's prayers were just nine verses, I think. Then it was very sweet. When I heard this, I was also thinking that it is Indra's, obviously, because he's trying to kill. So, and even Hiranyakashipu, out of envy, isn't it? against Prahlad Maharaj. What kind of a punishment? Being a father, was trying to kill Prahlad Maharaj. And there were many other examples. But here, what Lord Shiva was doing, even though he did an abominable mistake which caused Mother Sati to give up her life. Such a big thing, isn't it? She is a consort of Lord Shiva, and she had to give up her life. The punishment he gave was to correct him. So many times in our lives also we hear the chastisement, the punishment comes from the authorities. It's not that everything is taken for granted. We are practitioners of ISKCON, we are bhaktas. They are merciful sometimes, like they don't punish us that much. But we have to be careful. My personal experience, I did so many mistakes. So I think Jaya Advaita Maharaj, very strict. In Vrindavan, in front of Krishna Balaram, Maharaj was sitting and then taking darshan, meditating, absorbed. And I was very neophyte, very new to ISKCON. Then I was in 2006, just got initiated, and means like as an initiator, but still, of course, I'm still the same. But then I went with my phone. I asked Maharaj, "Can I take a picture?" And from a distance, of course, perfectly. Maharaj called me like this, and he said, "You did 3 mistakes." I said, Maharaj, said, "First thing, you want to take my picture in front of the deities, which is not correct. Second, you paid obeisances. When you paid obeisances, your feet are towards the Lordships. Because he was taking darshan, I paid obeisances, my feet are towards Lord. We have to make sure whenever we pay obeisances, neither to Prabhupada nor to the deities. Third mistake, you should not pay obeisances in front of the deities to me. So that was a mistake. Did I take it bad? No. I learned the lessons. Because he's a Acharya, so he like whoever has dealt with Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, how hard he is, like very, very tough, very tough. You will be like, it's beyond your imagination. I was very fortunate to serve him personally when I was working in Seattle. I drove him to Sharanagati. Mother Yamuna Mataji used to be there in Sharanagati, a small farm community near Vancouver in Canada. So I drove personally Maharaj and then brought him back to Seattle, which was very tough, because I was driving and Maharaj was sitting and other devotees were behind. I was tense the whole time. And when he came to Detroit, because of our invitation, he came once to Detroit. It was very, very scary to serve him because, sometimes, you see these acharyas, sannyasis, they have inherited some of the qualities of Srila Prabhupada. And he inherited the quality of that strictness from Prabhupada. And he's very strict. He wanted to have lunch at 1 p.m. The flight landed at 12:30. How can he have lunch? By the time he comes and then he collects his baggage at 1 o'clock. That time, Gokul Chandra Prabhu, we all know, Gokul Chandra Prabhu Ramsamaras. He used to live in here, like he moved to Bangalore. And then I took shelter. Prabhu, what shall we do? He said, let's take the prasadam to the airport. So we took all the prasadam, like this table, a chair to airport. The baggage area, we put table and we served Maharaj. Can you imagine? So he is very strict, And one thing I'll tell, I know it's been on the record, but it's what happened in public, so I can share maybe. She was giving initiations in Seattle, that trip. Mother were also there getting initiation. And about 200 250, 300 devotees were there in temple all the time. Seattle temple was a small temple, not the new one. So it's a mobile home basically. So, and Maharaj was doing yajna. For yajna, everybody was sitting. And he asked one Mataji, are you a devotee? Who was getting initiated? And what does one answer? Like she put her head down, and then Maharaj said, in Vaishnava culture, ladies won't leave their hair open. Because she took a head bath, she was getting initiation, she didn't tie her hair. Only prostitutes do that. Will she do it again? No. But it's very heavy. But sometimes Guru means heavy to teach us a lesson. When he was giving lecture, one host here, I don't want his name, he's an initiated devotee. That time he was not, but he was a host. About 100 people were there. Maharaj was giving lecture, very serious lecture, and he suddenly stopped. He looked at the devotee and he said, did your parents teach you etiquette? He was stunned. So what all he did was, he was listening carefully, but he put his finger on his lips. We do that now sometimes like this. And he said, that is not cleanliness. Go and wash your hand. So sometimes they're very heavy. I did mistake. I did mistakes serving in my Guru Maharaj. Once we went to the airport to pick him up, and it was winter, snow. He and Sri Prahlad Prabhu were there, Indradhanu Swami Maharaj and Sri Prahlad Prabhu. And I don't have direct contact with Maharaj. I was contacting another devotee. She was coordinating how to take care of Guru Maharaj. He came to the airport and we went and we were trying to receive, not the McNamara, the other airport. And used our intelligence, we went upstairs and we thought like Maharaj will come and we were trying to receive him. It's been 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I don't see Maharaj and Prahlad Prabhu. I was wondering what happened. So Maharaj and Prahlad Prabhu took the elevator to go down to the bagging area. We thought he will come and take the steps. And then he took the bags, he went outside. He was standing in snow outside for 10 minutes. And he contacted Mataji. Mataji, Sachi, where are you? Gurudev is waiting outside. I said like, Mataji, I'm waiting here. I don't see. And she was furious. And then I went in. So, generally you receive and you can't wait there. No, you tell somebody to. Shaligram Prabhu was driving. I had to call him, Prabhu, come, Maharaj. And I was literally shaking. Sometimes happens, but Maharaj was merciful. Like he was serious for some time, but he didn't chastise me or he just asked, where were you like that? Sometimes seeing my condition, like maybe like, if he chastised me, I'll be devastated or, my consciousness will be, because I am not so mature. Sometimes they chastise based on your maturity level. Yes, even though it was a big blunder, but they chastise based on your level of consciousness. You notice that. Sometimes even they just, it's okay, or they will smile and go. Because they know that if they chastise, then, sometimes people go away from Krishna consciousness. But the lessons we have to learn is all these chastisements or punishments the great devotees do is for our benefit, not the examples what I have given where people do out of envy. And if you see, even Mother Sachi, was she spared? She was punished by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for a mistake which she didn't even know that she did a mistake. You all remember, no? What mistake she did? He was so, they love each other so much. Even after taking sannyas, he came and he just lie flat and touched his feet, paid obeisances. Generally, sannyasis don't do. He paid obeisances to his mother. And they were crying and they were exchanging love. And he loved his mother so much, he said like, Mother, if you wish, I will leave this sannyas and I'll stay with you forever. But Mother Sachi said, no, at least stay close to me. That's why instead of being in Vrindavan, he was staying close in Jagannath Puri, where at least she can know how he was doing. That much love both of them had. But then one time, in the presence of Advaita Acharya, he said, like, you are not getting the mercy of Krishna. You're not going to go back to Godhead. And she said, what did I do? Because it's a heavy statement to Mother Sachi. And he said, mentally, you have done a mistake. You were thinking of my brother Vishwarup, who went away, was because of Advaita Acharya. Because Vishwarup was attending Bhagavatam classes from Advaita Acharya. And mentally she thought because of him, so he left the home and he went away. So that because of that mental offense, then she said, what shall I do? Said, you have to take the dust from Advaita Acharya's feet and put on your head and beg forgiveness from him. She said, how is it possible? How can I do that? He thinks of me as his mother. How does he allow me? What is the solution for this? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yeah, he is merciful. He says, I will make it possible. I will show my supreme majesty to Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya will pay obeisances. That is an opportunity. You can come because somebody pays obeisances. Take dust from his lotus feet and put on your head. Beg forgiveness. And Lord, shown his supreme majesty, and Advaita Acharya paid obeisances, dandavats, and Mother Sachi came from behind. She took dust from his lotus feet, put on her head. Then Advaita Acharya saw this. Mother, what did you do? She is so embarrassed. You don't like somebody touching the people. Devotees go away. Like one time for this, Chinnajaya Swami came to Seattle Temple, ISKCON Temple, and then he was doing Lakshmi Srinivas Kalyanam in ISKCON Temple. And his disciples guard him when he walks because you are not supposed to touch his feet or come near his feet. So very particular, Sri Vaishnavas. But ISKCON Acharyas or Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj, so merciful. I can just go. Even my Guru Maharaj was merciful, not everybody. Till one time when he came during that visit where I was talking, so when Mataji came with small baby, I don't remember who it was, said, Maharaj, can you give blessings? She was sitting like that. And Maharaj said, keep the baby on the floor. Maharaj put his feet on the head of the baby. How much mercy it is. And then Jagat Guru Prabhu was there, who was the temple president, ISKCON Detroit. He went and just put his head. Maharaj put his feet on his head. And I just followed him. Maharaj put his feet on my head. And Yugal Kishore Prabhu was saying after the program, I said, Prabhu, why did you do that? We should do that. But of ignorance, we do that. But I'm talking about from their side, the mercy comes. You have seen, no, Jayapatak Swamaraj when he comes, if he allows. But try with the Rompa Swamaraj. Will be kicked. One Prabhu did. Now he's a Brahmin initiated devotee from Seattle. Just like that, he touched his feet to him. Maharaj was furious. How many of the girls you may remember when we were trying to invite Rompasa Maharaj at the entrance? Maharaj came, all the children were standing with flowers. And Maharaj got down the car and he did 100 meters dash. He quickly ran into the temple. He doesn't want any of these things to touch his feet. But anyway, so different acharyas have different modes. So all this is done for our good. So Mother Sachi is even not spared. Because a Vaishnava aparad is a big offense. That's why we, 10 offenses we say. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating holy names of the Lord. And particularly with devotees, we shouldn't do that even with non-devotees, offending as much as possible. Do we know who is a devotee, who is a non-devotee? Do we? Aditi, do we know who is a devotee or who is a non-devotee? Do you know or you don't know? Your sister is a devotee or non-devotee? Sorry to put you on spot. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prabhu kahe, Yandra mukhe suni ek bar, Krishna naam se pujya, shreshta sabakar. What does it say? If one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common group. CC Madhya Leela 15:106. Continues. Ataeva yandra mukhe eka Krishna nama cheta Vaishnava karito tanhara sammana. One who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's names should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offered respect as such, at least within one's mind. And while giving instruction to Sanatana Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Shastra yukti nahi jane drida shraddhavan madhyamadhikari she mahabhagyavan. A person whose conclusive knowledge of the Shastras is not very strong, but who has developed firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and who is also undeterred in the execution of his prescribed devotional service, should be considered Madhyamadhikari. Such a person is very fortunate. So here, again later he explains, basically, there is another verse, I'll just say, Shraddhavan Janahaya Bhakti Adhikari Uttama Madhyama Kanishta Shraddha Anushari. One becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, and the highest platform of devotional service according to the development of his Shraddha, faith. And again he says, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Shudraha Nishaya Krishna Bhakti Kele Sarva Karma Kritahaya. By rendering transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confident, firm faith, favorable to the discharge of devotional service, is called Shraddha. Shraddha, faith in Krishna, is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Yesterday, when His Grace Shyam Kishore Prabhu was talking about this faith, particularly we should have firm faith in our Guru. So then we can develop faith for Krishna. He mentioned many important points yesterday. Like his calling Avaduta, his transcendental, his so many realizations. So he was sharing so much nectar yesterday from Prabhupada's purports. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling about the importance of Shraddha. Based on the level of Shraddha one has, then he is a Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. But from my perspective, maybe I'm speculating or maybe it is there in Shastra, maybe Prabhu knows, but we cannot use our intelligence to judge, even though we learn from nectar of instructions and our scriptures and the acharyas, definition of what is Kanishtadhikari, what is Madhyamadhikari, what is Uttamadhikari. But we should not try to judge, then we should go and say, oh, he's Kanishta, she is Uttama, she is, Because even our Acharya Prabhupada himself, he considers himself as neophyte. Many of the sannyasis, they consider themselves, because that is a humble position they take. And particularly if we see them in a close quarters, or if you know, Vapu, sometimes Vapu is very dangerous. They say Vani is better than Vapu, they say. Because when you are in close association, you know, our mind and, you know, our intelligence, and we do mistakes. We take them for, you know, we look at them like any other normal person, and we try to find faults with even such, you know, Prabhupada's time also it happened. I was listening from Gaurang Prabhu. He was telling like people who were closely serving Srila Prabhupada were the people who left the movement in Vapu. Because what happens, you know, with so much conditioning, we find faults. Oh, you know, what is this? Prabhupada is doing like this, or Prabhupada is doing like that. No, nectar of instructions teaches about it. It's not the physical aspect we have to see whether somebody has, you know, is not beautiful, or his form, or is not able to sing properly, or is not able to recite verses properly, Sanskrit verses. These are all not the things which you have to look at from our acharyas. Even some other sannyas maybe may not be, you know, uttering because they come from different backgrounds. But we shouldn't see this. We have to see their qualities. They are so advanced. So we have to be very careful when Maharajas come, when we serve them, even senior Vaishnavas when we serve them. To that matter, from my perspective, I always try and see like everybody, like whether it is he's chanting one round, whether it's initiated. Many times I told this, a child or a baby, or you don't know who they are. So we have to be very careful in dealing with any kind of mistake. It is just, you know, see like what kind of a mistake Daksha did. Just didn't pay attention to Lord Shiva's when he was coming. And Bhagavatacharya Prabhu was in India, isn't it, for some time. And when he came back, he said, what's happening? Which verse we are reading? Bhagavatam. Oh, still Daksha story is going on, he asked. Because how many days we have been discussing? That means what? That means what? How much important it is, isn't it? You know, Indra Sumara says, Prabhupada, when he was traveling with Prabhupada tells him, like, hey, I'm paraphrasing. He said, Prabhupada, one time, you know, some incident happened. He was going into the flight, and Maharaj accompanies him, and Prabhupada looks back and tells him, like, no, this is some statement he makes about this one lifetime, or after that, you know, it'll all be blissful, go back. And then, did you understand? Maharaj said, yes. And then he goes and then again repeats the same statement. And again he repeats the same statement 3 times. Maharaj make oaths many times. If anything is repeated, that means it is very important. And if you are spending so much, Vyasadeva is spending so much time on this specific chapter, means we have to learn a lot. Because we tend to do these offenses, talking to myself, day in and day out. Of course, we are pardoned for our mental offenses, but we have to be careful. Even mental offense will turn out into a physical offense if you keep on meditating upon it. So we have to be very, very watchful. And we learn so many lessons from Srimad Bhagavatam, and we have to read and talk to myself on a regular basis. So I'll stop here. There's so much to talk on this verse, and you know, this we can talk about Gopal Chapala, like, you know, what kind of mistake he did to Srivasacharya. So many mistakes, you know. But anyway, so I will stop here, and please forgive me if I misspoke anything as a humble servant. And if anything good has come out, that is because of this. Evil Kishore says everything comes out of our mouth based on this mercy, the garland which we get it from the deities, and whatever I heard. If any mistakes, that is my ignorance, and if anything good, that is our senior Acharya's Vaishnava's mercy. So, any questions, comments before we end the call? Any questions I will direct to Prabhu. He cannot ask questions. That's an issue. And yes, Prabhu, please.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for all these wonderful pastimes that you shared from different spiritual masters, acharyas. So it was very enlightening and to listen to all those things and your vast experience with different acharyas, devotees, and very nice to hear actually this. And then, Prabhu, I just had a question on the purport. So if someone reads this purport and then because in ISKCON, we repeatedly keep telling that all this Brahmana, Kshatriya, all these qualifications are based on guna and karma, and based on activities and their modes and their modes. And therefore, but this purport is talking about Brahmana father and a Brahmana son. So if somebody reads like this, how can they, and by and large, the purports don't talk about father being a Brahmana, son also being a Brahmana. So how can generally people make sense out of this purport?
Thank you, Prabhu. Online, I don't know whether you heard. So Prabhu is asking, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning Daksha being son of Brahma, and in general, he's telling a Brahma Bandhu who is born to a Brahmana, how we can say, because from our scriptures and from our acharyas, we hear by quality we differentiate people. Somebody is Shudra, somebody is Vaishya, somebody is Brahmana or Kshatriya. So actually in the purport itself, Prabhupada is saying about Brahma Bandhu, who is by birth a Brahmana, but not by the quality. Because Brahma Bandhu is not actually a Brahmana. So like in Kali Yuga, we see like so-called Brahmanas who are now into all kind of things, no offense, but you see with your own eyes. I have my friends also back in India. They eat meat, they drink, but they're Brahmanas, they have the thread. So that's not a Brahmana. So Brahma Bandhu, but not qualities. Because here what happened? Daksha, why Prabhupada is referring to that? Even though Daksha was born in such a high family, Brahma's son, and still he did this mistake. But that means he is not having the Brahminical qualities. If he had, then he wouldn't have done this mistake. And forget about us, like being, we get Brahman initiation. So that's actually when Brahman initiation is given. Our acharyas say you are now practicing Brahminical activities. You have not become a Brahmana. You are, this is a starting point of becoming a Brahmana. Because the purificatory process happens. It's not that you are qualified and you have become a Brahmana. So it's a long process. That's why we say like, are you a devotee? When somebody asks, are you a devotee? We say like, no, I'm trying to be a devotee. Even very senior Vaishnavas will say. So here Prabhupada has clarified it for us. And actually by quality only, we have to understand this Brahmana or Kshatriya. Even within our community, even though somebody is Brahman initiated, but he has a Kshatriya quality. Isn't it? Somebody likes to be administrator. You see, if you in your class, if you have 30, 40 children, everybody is trying to be leader. No. You see one or two people, they excel. They want to be leaders. You always see them like that. Or somebody is very studious and like Brahman qualities. Somebody who always trying to help other people, like a Shudra. Even in class it happens, isn't it? So you notice this is there in society. Like we are a community, but how many of us on the leadership? Somebody has that taste to be leader. You can see that Kshatriya. Prabhupada identified by those qualities and encouraged in those aspects, and they excelled. Somebody is very good in Shastra. Like Prabhu is like so much into scriptures, he can quote left and right. Right? So somebody has that inclination and they go into that. And we cannot take his example and we want to jump into that. That's why we say we have to follow in the footsteps, but we can't imitate. Because God has given us some quality. Somebody may be good at singing, somebody may be good at cooking, somebody is good at making garlands. So how Srila Prabhupada was so perfectly used. Somebody who was good at painting. He said, like, oh, come on. All these paintings, see, if you go to Detroit Temple, the original painting is there. All those pictures came from that. The original painting is there. You go take Prabhupada darshan, on the left side, on the wall, you see the original Narasimhadev painting. Original. Like there's so many paintings which are originally painted. So he encouraged those people. And we have seen, I was hearing this lecture from Maharaj in New Vrindavan during Festival of Inspiration. About how Chaitanya Charitamrita manifested. You all know the story, you know. So Prabhupada said it has to come out in 1 month, something. Challenge does everybody said it is impossible. Prabhupada said impossible is a word in fool's dictionary. And he made it possible. They worked day and night. You know, somebody who was drawing all the pictures, Chaitanya Charitamrita, there were pictures, no? How they were doing, you know, somebody does whole 12 hours shift during the day, and another Mataji or Prabhu who is painting, he comes and does the rest of the painting next day. Do you do like that? Painting is somebody, you know, you do painting like that. Half you do and tell Aditi to do the next of the painting. No, because you do. But that's how they did and made it happen. So he's expert, Prabhupada, how he used. So similarly, like no, we see in a community like this, so we identify based on the qualities. So and you know, Brahmana, you can obviously you can identify Brahmanical qualities. Somebody is, you know, who is a Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra. Somebody always wants to, you know, clean pots and sweep the floor. You know, Brahmana also does that, but you know, they're more intended to do those kind of activities. And how many people know Sudhir Prabhu from Detroit Temple? Anybody know? Yeah, he moved to Alachua. He loves to wash pots. He loves to wash pots. Anytime you go, he'll be in the pot washing area. Ramchandra Prabhu knows him. And if there are no pots, he'll be disappointed. Hey, what happened today? Where are there no pots? He'll be disappointed. And where am I? In a contradictory, if somebody asks me to wash the pots, like here, Kishore Krishna Prabhu sends messages, there are so many pots, can you please come and wash the pots? But those are the devotees, you know, like that. And in Vrindavan, there is one devotee who was always in the kitchen cooking. And devotees complain to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, we never see him chanting. While cooking, what he does? He was just singing Hare Krishna, and then he was. Prabhupada said, it's all right. He's chanting 24 hours. But that's an exception. You shouldn't take it for that, you know, because I did kirtan, so many rounds are over. But the point of it is, you know, Prabhupada gave that concession and then he gave those, you know. Otherwise, in India, nobody accepts. Now, big controversy is going on. So, anyway, I don't want to talk about it. But so Prabhupada gave mercy to all the Westerners. They're becoming Brahmins and then they were serving in the deity. The other day I was talking in my Bhakti Risha, I said, all the Matajis, you should be very, very grateful to Prabhupada than Prabhus. Why? Nowhere in India you'll be permitted to enter into the altar. Not even into the kitchen. Vrindavan, you're not even allowed to enter into kitchen to cook. Only thing they gave is just pots come back and then you can just clean the paraphernalia, plates and this one. That is also special mercy. But see what Prabhupada did. Now, in outside of India, Matasis can go on to the altar. They're Brahmin initiated, they can do Gayatri. Same way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was told not to give out this Maha Mantra. But he gave because merciful. And are we qualified? No. But the mercy comes like that. So only thing we have to do from our side is do our best. Have that faith and then serve the Vaishnavas, serve the Guru. And as Shyam Prabhu was telling yesterday, that's how we get the mercy of Krishna. So taking shelter of Guru and serving Guru, Guru Nishta is important. It's very important. So they are there for guiding us. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevadya padekshantu te jnanam jnanena sattvadarshi. They have seen the truth. So they are all around us. Prabhupada's mercy is flowing through them. So take advantage because they are all aging out. They're all aging out. So whatever little opportunity you get, yatras, many of the devotees went. So grab those opportunities. Sadhu Sangha retreat is coming up. So please, okay. Okay. I'll stop here. It's 9:31. Any questions? And direct to Shyam Kishore Prabhu or Jaya Prabhu. Dandat Pranam Algosh Prabhu, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu
Hare Krishna.
Tanam Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Jai.
Sorry, online I didn't ask. If you have any questions, please you can reach out to me. It's 9:31, so I'll take a pause here. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Very nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.